Mabuhay! I'm Ruth Jehian Lagar, and with me is Miss Iris Joy Bañega and Mark Luigi Macaraeg. Allow us to introduce to you the topic space allocation. So, what do you think is the main reason why tourism and hospitality establishment attracts its customer? And what are the different sectors of tourism and hospitality industry? We will discuss the space allocation of tourism and hospitality establishments, as well as the characteristic of a well-planned space and the major sector of tourism and hospitality industry. Okay, so let's start off with space allocation. It is the computational arrangement of rooms or spaces in a floor plan. So, in other words, it is the process of determining the position and size of different rooms in a two-dimensional space according to the user's requirements and typological and geometric constraints. And the next one is space planning. Okay, so space planning is the process of analyzing how space in structures and rooms will be used. Good space planning considers possible spaces uses and ensures that they are used efficiently. Okay, so let's proceed to the characteristic of a well-planned space. The first one is it must be efficient and effective space utilization. So what do you mean by that? The layout of rooms and spaces should be properly utilized by determining the use of the space and the projected users. And to minimize the wastage of space, the furniture, fixture, and equipment should be considered to allow proper utilization. Second is appropriate ambience. This sets the mood of a space or a room. The character, quality, tone, and atmosphere provided the experience the establishments wants their clientele to enjoy and remember. The impression it imprints on the mind of the guest is crucial for the success of the business. The third one is adaptable and flexible. The business of hospitality and tourism industry is anchored on events and holidays. The facility may celebrate short or annual holidays or events that last for a month. This event entails the decoration that can occupy space and encourage people to take pictures and participate in an activities. The next one is accessible. The layout in any area of the facility should provide ease of movement for people, goods, and its services. There should be an ample and efficient space between movable and immovable structures. Access for physically challenged or people with disability is provided by law. However, the provision required are minimal, so the designer and planners can or may design spaces that would optimize access around the facility. The next one is minimum movement. The plan should provide for the minimum movement of workforce and equipment in the delivery of goods and services. So, crisscrossing the paths of the clients and movement of supplies and workforce should be avoided, and this can only be achieved through proper planning. The next one is wayfinding. So, in the context of planning, this would refer to how the users would maneuver to the different parts of facilities. The experience of the users in the orientation of space and choosing path to take play significant parts in their delight and comfort. So, proper planning would keep people from accessing areas that are restricted to the guests, such as most of the BOH. The next one is reduced discomfort. So the designing and planning of spaces include planning for proper lighting, ventilation, and minimization of stress from pollutants such as noise, unwanted odor, and extreme temperature. And the last one is adhere to laws and regulation. The plan should conform and adhere to the laws and regulations set by the government and other policy-making bodies. and the adherence to the code would minimize, if not eradicate, the incidence of accidents and reduce absenteeism of workers, which would contribute to the increase of productivity and sustainability of services.
There are major sectors of the hospitality and tourism industry. These are the accommodation and lodging, front of house, lodging facilities, catering and conferences, and the back of the house. The first sector is the accommodation and lodging. This sector includes all accommodation and lodging facilities such as hotels, motels, hostels, houses, and resorts. The main purpose of this is to provide guest spaces where they can stay and sleep for a duration of time. The accommodations are generally classified in terms of the following. Number 1, size of the facilities. This refers to the number of lodging units available. For example, from under 50 rooms to as high as more than 500 rooms or units in resort-type developments. Number 2, the location. This is about the sites of facilities like airports, city centers, casino, and resort hotels, whereas accommodation and lodging can be placed. The third one is the level of service. This refers to the provision of room sizes. The guest rooms would take up 65% to 75% of the hotel floor area and the sizes of rooms according to a general category. Budget hotel with 1 star or standard hotel with 2 stars. Number 4, the market and function. This relates to the target client base of the facility. Exclusive membership resorts, casinos, and condominium hotels are some of the accommodations that have evolved over time to address the needs of clients. The fifth one is the ownership and affiliation. The hotels with an affiliation create a set of their own standards of services which are translated to a concept and manifested in its exterior and interior architecture. The last one is the industry standard. The industry standards are designed to recognize facilities committed to improve environmentally friendly practices. The second sector is the front of house. This might include all or some of the areas listed depending on their classification and concept of establishment. Here are the 3 classifications of front of house. The number 1 is the lobby. This area connects the facility from the outside. This space creates the first impression of the establishment as it sets the tone of the overall ambience of the facility. It is a room providing a space out of which one or more other rooms or corridors lead, typically near the entrance of the building. The second one is the registration and front desk. This space is usually placed in a location where coming guests can immediately see it. This is where guests check in and check out of the establishment. The last classification of front of house is the washroom. This room provides facilities for hygiene such as laboratory and toilet. There are some instances where establishments provide a separate washroom for the members of LGBTQ+ for inclusivity. Lodging facilities. This is the third sector and the space where the guest stays. This includes bathrooms and corridors, which usually take up to 50% to 60% of the total floor area. These are the establishments that provide transient sleeping accommodations. It may also add some services like meeting rooms, banquet rooms, and restaurants. The fourth sector is the catering and conferences. This is the space where the people with events and meetings or seminars. Number 1, restaurant. Most of the accommodation facilities feed their guests. The space required is calculated based on the seating capacity, arrangement, and type of operation. Offerings range from coffee shops to specialty restaurants. The second one is retail shop. Their offerings may range from clothes, jewelry, souvenir items to personal hygiene needs. The size of the shop can range from 9.20 to 110 square meters, depending on the operation of the stores. The function space. Some accommodations include function rooms for meetings and seminars. The hotel and resort may offer meeting rooms to banquet halls. depending on how large the facilities are and how many bedrooms they have. Amenities and recreational areas. This is the fourth one under the catering and conferences. It can range from passive to highly extensive spaces, depending on market requirements and the concept of the facility. These are the space that is communal and available to all occupants of a building within a zone for social and recreational purposes. Administrative. It includes executive offices as well as sales, accounting personnel, and any other administrative support offices. The last one is the employee facilities. Without a properly functioning staff, guests will not be comfortable and pleased with the service offered by the company. There are facilities that can be provided to the employees, including the provision of clothing, drinking water, resting, eating facility, and sanitation facility for the employees to be more productive. Back of house. These are the areas that are usually unseen by the guests but plays an important role in operation. This encompasses all the behind the scenes area. There are three flow service areas. The first one is the receiving department. The main purpose of this department is to make sure that the company receives the right quality and quantity of goods to be used by different departments in order to serve and provide the best quality to the guest. The second one is the housekeeping. The purpose of this is to keep the entire establishment clean, orderly, tidy, and make it a safe working environment. These spaces are used for preparation, cleaning, and storage of utility items in order to keep a desirable ambience for guests and staffs. The last one under the back of the house is maintenance and miscellaneous areas. This maintains the brand and reputation of the company. This keeps the establishments sanitized and free from pests. The facility is equivalent to 10% total floor area of the establishment.
Food and beverages. The food and beverage industry includes all sorts of restaurants, cafeterias, fast food, restaurants, catering businesses, and other establishments whose main goals is to feed the guests. First one is restaurants. There are several types of restaurants such as fast food, casual, and contemporary casual dining, buffet and fine dining, catering and banquets. For facilities that provide catering and banquet services, storage areas, chairs, tables, and other equipment should be considered in planning and design. Next one is airlines and cruise ships. Cruise ships may serve up to a few thousand meals at each sitting. Dining. This is the space where guests will dine in their meals. Kitchen. The measurement of area allocated for kitchens varies on the number of meals served per hour. 7 is entertainment and recreation. Recreational facilities are made up of different sorts, from quiet spas to huge stadiums of baseball games. Entertainment facilities. First one is sports complex. This is usually a large facility that accommodates different types of physical activities and sports. The shopping facility. This is a facility that consists of various retail outlets and restaurants. C. Spa. This facility is dedicated to the health and wellness of the users. The cinema. This is a venue for film showing through picture projection. Casino. This is an entertainment facility for gambling and luck-based games. Tourist information. The tourist information subcategory is focused on providing travelers with important information about things to do in local area.